6 Super Bowls, 333 wins, and they told him no. Tonight on the Fox Den, Bill Belichick gets snubbed by the Hall of Fame, and the NFL world is on fire. Is it about integrity, or is it about the pure power trip that some of these voters have? Plus, we're 2 weeks out from the Super Bowl. We got Sam Darnold against Drake May. Can Sam Darnold actually finish one of the greatest comebacks in sports history? And closer to home, the Thunder are the best in the West, but they're limping. And OU has a new athletic director walking into a house fire at the Lloyd Noble Center. So grab a drink, get comfortable. The Fox Den Sports starts right now.
Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Fox Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, gentlemen, let's start with the bombshell of Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of all time, failing to get 50 votes on his first try ballot entry to get in the NFL Hall of Fame. Bill Polian, a well-respected general manager out there for years, not anymore, but he was. I know he built the Carolina Panthers. He built the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills into powerhouses back in the day. He told folks that he thinks Bill Belichick should wait a year because of all the scandals that he had, the Deflategate and recording. Was it Deflategate? What was the other one called? Where he videoed Spygate. I know Mahomes has called it insane. JJ Watt says this can't be real without him. So let's talk about that. What are your all's thoughts on Bill Belichick not being elected? I don't know if it's even elected, but I don't think they've done the actual elections yet, but he's not in the finalist anyway. What are your thoughts?
I'm sure some of it's some bad blood. Wasn't a fan of speaking to reporters, and I don't know who all was involved in the voting process. But the only other thing I can think of is just his post Tom Brady years. Really hasn't had any success. Hasn't looked great. And Tom Brady went out and won a Super Bowl with a different team. So I don't know if some of the people that vote or the committee, or I don't know how it works, but I don't know if they think that maybe he's not that good and he got carried by Brady. But whatever the answer is, it's disgrace. He's 8 Super Bowls. There's zero reason why he shouldn't be in the first chance he gets.
My first thought was baseball's kind of taking that route, that if you ever got caught with, steroids or anything like that, then they weren't letting you in. And so I thought, well, that's why they're not letting him in. It's because they think he got caught a couple of times. I mean, I think a lot of the Belichick haters, Patriots haters, are thinking it's a great move. Said, yeah, that's what happens when you get caught cheating. And my thought is I'm not sure how either one of those really probably made much of a difference, especially the deflating the balls, because I think everybody does that. And then the spy thing, yeah, they probably did it more than they got caught, but I think probably a lot of people do it, especially with the way technology is even today. I think it's even worse. I mean, so yeah, he got caught. Maybe he wasn't that good at doing it if he got caught, but I think there's a lot more people involved than just him on those two scenarios. And so if that's literally the only two things they have on him, I think it's pretty weak, because no matter what, you still win. You talk about post Tom Brady era, I get that as well, but I also think that all these other coaches that won Super Bowls had really good players. So you got to have good players, or you're not going to. There's part of it is putting a team together. And so I bet he drafted a lot of really good players along the way.
To me, though, even if the cheating stuff has anything to do with it, he's either eligible or he's not. It's not like the baseball where it's like, oh, this guy,
not even eligible.
He'll never win because he's not eligible. If Bill Belichick is eligible, he should be in. And he is eligible, so it makes zero sense.
I want to say no, he doesn't deserve to be in the first time anyway. I think obviously at some point he does, but I can't. And here's the reason why. The first 3 Super Bowls, I know they beat the Rams, they beat Carolina Panthers, and they beat the Eagles. I think he had and I'm not saying he never had anything to do with any of these Super Bowls, but he had a lot to do with that. I think the defense, Clay, you remember back in the day, like the defense of New England was really strong back in those first 3 Super Bowls. After that, the next 3, I felt like were more Tom Brady led than Bill Belichick. But regardless, if you have a super, like, you know, three coaches that have won 3 Super Bowls, you got, I know Bill Walsh, I know Joe Gibbs, those kind of guys are in the Hall of Fame. So I think that obviously he deserves to be in. I think the longer he stayed in the game, that he and especially without Tom Brady, you saw what happened. And I don't know if it's that he lost touch. Don't know the answer to that. I don't think he was towards the end very good at picking personnel, doing drafts and things of that nature. But regardless, his early career definitely gets him in for sure. And I don't know if any of these voters are looking at North Carolina. That has nothing to do with it. I don't think he's a very good college coach, but then again, maybe he can turn it around in the next couple of years. I don't know if he'll get that opportunity. Like I said, it's not that I can't stand the guy. I don't at all. I don't know him. I see the arrogance, but I don't think you can hold, my personal opinion, I don't think you can hold that stuff against somebody. And I don't know who what's that?
They're not supposed to hold any of that against him.
And I think there were 50 voters and 10 people said no. And I wish there was a way, and I guarantee you somebody could figure it out, and somebody may leak that. They find out who the 10 people are, and I'd like to know why. I guarantee you Bill Polian is one of them. Polian made the comment that I said earlier about having him wait a year. But then they asked him, well, did you vote for him? And he said, well, you know, I don't remember. That was a couple of weeks ago. I just don't remember. I'm like, dude, how do you not remember that? You know, I mean, so yeah, he obviously didn't. So I don't know what your all's thoughts on what I just said, but I just think that, again, I'm not a New England, not the big New England fan, especially those teams back then, because they were too daggum good, right? If it had been Dallas, been fine with it, but just not happy with that.
To me, though, a lot of people say this about Brady, and you could say the same about Belichick. You could cut his Patriots career in half, and he had two Hall of Fame careers. And that's not to mention the Super Bowls before the Patriots, but like, it just doesn't make sense. I think Jimmy Johnson said or tweeted today that if the voters knew up front that, like, if it was all public on who voted for who, Belichick would be in right now. But because it's secret, he's not in.
You're right.
So let's ask this. So every player, including Tom Brady, that was there during Spygate and Deflategate, does that mean Tom Brady doesn't get in the Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Why is it not? How is it not any different? You know, so I don't think I think people would come, the world would come unglued if Tom Brady didn't get in on his first ballot.
And I think the Deflategate, and I'm sure Belichick probably knew about it, but I think that was more probably Tom Brady driven, because he's the one throwing the ball. And then at the same point, I don't know if you guys remember that score. New England won 45-7. I don't think it had anything to do with the daggum football, that you could squeeze a little bit better. Maybe that's my opinion.
And like Clay said earlier, everybody's doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just part of it. It's just who gets caught.
And that's what Jimmy Johnson said. He said before they had the helmets with you could communicate with the offensive coordinator, whoever's calling the plays. He goes, everybody was trying to steal signs. I mean, that's just the way it was. I mean, it's like the Oklahoma Sooners have been accused, Brent Venables' staff, of stealing signs. Well, you're going to try to get a leg up on people on these type of things, and you're gonna. I mean, it makes no sense as to why you wouldn't. You're trying to win the football game, and you're trying to get any edge. Look at baseball players. You guys see, like, they're really looking into when they're in the dugout, watching the tendencies of a pitcher. What's it? You know, what's the difference?
Yeah, whenever I think the difference with him is that they sent a video camera into the stadium, so I get that, and if that's, you know, I think that's probably what happened. Was it led by Bill Belichick? There's probably no way he did not know about it, but somebody probably is the one that orchestrated all that. But no, to your point, when I coached high school football, I would spend time watching the play after it formulated to write down scouting reports. I was up in the press box, and while they're signaling in plays, if teams that signal in plays, because a lot of them just ran them in with receivers, but everybody signals in now. But I sat there the whole time and watched and wrote down. I had a sheet that I wrote down what signals they were, and I could tell. I got to the point by the end of the first quarter, I could tell it was a run or a pass play, and so I could signal that in. Yeah, and they were doing it to us. That's why we didn't signal anybody, because we knew people were doing that. And there are some schools that just signaled in every single play. It was like, well, we know if it's going to be a pass play because your signals are about 3 signals longer than a run play, because you got to get in the routes, you got to get in the blocking coverages and different stuff like that. And so that was little high schools. And so just to your point, everybody does that kind of stuff.
Well, moving on, let's move on to Sam Darnold, because while Bill's out, Sam Darnold's in. He's heading to the Super Bowl. He's got a 122.7 playoff passer rating right now. Fantastic. Has done a fantastic job. He was called a bust when he was with the Jets. Then he went to Carolina, was a bust again. I know he did some backup duty at San Francisco. I think it may have been for only 1 year. Then he went to Minnesota, had a fantastic year. Now at Seattle has done extremely well. And guess what? They're in the Super Bowl. So my question to you guys, is he really this good, or is he just the latest guy to get quote unquote fixed by a pretty good system?
Well, you got to be pretty good to be in the Super Bowl. I don't care what it is, but that's 2 seasons in a row for 2 different organizations, 2 different teams. I think he's figured out a lot of things. He's probably been in 2 pretty good systems. I think Minnesota wishes obviously they had him this year. I couldn't believe Seattle was like picking him up, and I couldn't believe Minnesota for one was letting him go. He's proved himself. But I think it's a very well known fact that, man, if some of these people get in with the right coordinator, right team, right organization, owners probably saying the right things, like Baker Mayfield. Once he got out of Cleveland, he bounced around to Carolina, to Los Angeles, and then he ended up in Tampa Bay, and he's had a great career now. I mean, if this was his last year, people think he had a great career, but it just is amazing how you get in with the right team, how good you can be. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he's not Brady, Manning, those type of guys. He never will be, but he's pretty solid.
Sure.
I think it's just a combination of right place and he is good. I think there's very few people that can go into certain organizations and really turn things around. You have to be truly a generational talent, but I mean, I think he was like the 3rd pick of his draft. So like him and Baker were 1 and 3, I believe. And then it's like Josh Allen was like 7 and Lamar, I don't know, 24. I don't know exactly. But Josh Allen went to, obviously the further back you get drafted, the better team you go to. So unless you're just truly one of the best of all time, it's very hard for these guys to turn an organization around. So I think part of it, he just had to finally get to the right place and maybe gain some confidence back last season. But I think he's been proving all the doubters wrong the last couple of years, and myself included.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. I thought he was a bust early on as well, because I was like, man, this is garbage. I'm not never have been the biggest Seattle fan. I like him a lot better than I used to. Never was a Pete Carroll fan, just from the fact of the USC days and him, beating the snot out of us at the Sooners in the national championship game years ago. And also, I think he got caught cheating, which I'm sure a lot of people did. But that's the main reason. But going back to Seattle and Sam Darnold, I'm happy. I'm so happy for him, because I would love to see in the NFL if all 32 teams had a solid quarterback and everybody, nobody got hurt like a Joe Burrow, and see how the results would be in each year, because obviously there's always going to be injuries, and we know that, and there's always going to be teams that are hungry for a quarterback. But I have been watching football since 1977. The Jets have never had anybody, and they have never had anybody. I think that
and they've tried.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the best quarterbacks they had was Chad Pennington, and he got hurt. Mark Sanchez took him to, I think, 3 straight AFC championship games. Never won. I think it was 2 for sure. Maybe been 3. Clay, I don't know if you remember the guy Richard Todd, played for him in the late 70s, early 80s. Players like that. I mean, since Joe Namath, they're a terrible organization. It's like the Bears. They had never had a quarterback. I mean, they had McMahon since Sammy Baugh back in the day. And now, I mean, dadgum, they've got Caleb, who, I mean, there's the jury's still out, but I mean, he's obviously much, much better. There's just certain organizations that can't get that right. And I'm so happy for Sam Darnold. I'm excited to see what he does. And we're not going to do any predictions today. That's for next week's podcast. We'll do the predictions, but I'm fired up about him. And another question about him would be, if he wins it all, is that one of the biggest turnarounds for a player? I don't know if you can think of any other players. I'm sure there are. I mean, I think Baker Mayfield's done a really good turnaround as well. However, he hasn't made it to the Super Bowl yet. But it's just amazing. Can you think of anybody else that's had a really good turnaround like that in history? I know Jim Plunkett had some. He had some rough times with New England Patriots and 49ers back in the 70s, and then finally won a couple Super Bowls with Oakland Raiders in the 80s.
I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you could kind of say similarly as Matt Stafford. He looked better in Detroit than Sam Darnold did all these years, but never could do anything, and finally gets to LA and wins the Super Bowl. But that's probably the closest I could think of, at least that I remember. But what Sam Darnold is doing right now is what we thought Baker was going to do, or hoped Baker was going to do in Tampa Bay.
I think it's pretty interesting that I would say, if you look back, take out Tom Brady over the last, let's say, 20 years, take out Peyton Manning's couple that he won, the rest of them have just been Sam Darnold type quarterbacks. There hasn't been Hall of Fame. I mean, like you said, Matt Stafford will probably get it, but you throw in a Jalen Hurts. I mean, because I look at Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, probably the two best quarterbacks out there. Mahomes is there with Manning and them, but there's been a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, Joe Flacco, like when he won it that year, I was like, what? I remember Trent Dilfer won it one year.
Brad Johnson.
I mean, so I don't think there's a playbook exactly on how to do this, because sometimes you have the Tom Brady incredible offenses, like that one year, weren't they pretty much undefeated?
Well, they were
won like one game and then lost in the NFC Championship game to Eli Manning, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's not up there with Peyton and those guys. I mean, so you see what I'm saying? So there's not a playbook. I mean, it's got to be the whole team. You got to have a great defense, got to have a good running game, got to have some good receivers. And the Seahawks and the Patriots both have all of that. And so, Drake May, I mean, like Brock Purdy, come on. I mean, why is Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl there that one year? And but he had all the other peripheral out there. And so same with Drake May. And anyway, so it's just, that's what I think makes people watch the NFL, is because you just never know. And I saw a deal the other day that I thought was so interesting. It was I think it was from the NFL, but I'm not really sure. It says it was like the first day of the Thursday night football game, and it said "We're back," and it had a caricature of basically an AI generated player, every single player in the NFL, like their best player on the team, and had the people up front like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen kind of close, and Saquon Barkley up towards the front of the screen, and it got smaller and smaller and smaller. And guess who was at the very, very end that you could barely see, that was like really, really tiny when Saquon Barkley was this tall? It was Sam Darnold and Drake May.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting. I was like, wow. So that's what I'm saying. You just don't know.
You just don't know, yeah. You have no idea. Speaking of Eli Manning, he missed out again this year. 2 years. I think it's 2 years in a row that he should have. That'd be another topic at some time to talk about, but
yeah,
let's talk. One thing I really wanted to say about these quarterbacks like Sam Darnold, the quarterback whisperers. I thought Bruce Arians was a very good quarterback whisperer. I know he, with Peyton Manning and with Ben Roethlisberger, did a great job with these quarterbacks. And I know Bill Walsh was incredible. Andy Reid's probably one of the best ones as well. Norv Turner did really well with Troy Aikman, but it all depends. Some of these guys have to get in the right system and they'll be good. But let's talk about the coaching carousel. Some people like to call it carousel. The hires of John Harbaugh to the Giants, McCarthy to the Steelers, Stefanski to the Falcons. You got Robert Saleh going to the Tennessee Titans. I see value of experience. I do. But why is the NFL so terrified of like new coaches, new energy? Why keep hiring guys that have been with other teams and they've been fired? Any thoughts?
Who are some new coaches they could have gone after?
Well, I mean, the Seattle offense coordinator Kubiak was one of them for sure.
He still may be.
Yeah, I mean, he might just be waiting for the right team, but he might know what team he wants to go to. But he's in the Super Bowl, so he's got bigger things to worry about. Right now.
No, you're right. But there's several different ones that have been out there. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something? Oh, I thought Clay was gonna say something.
Oh, I think me.
The Steelers. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go. No, it's crazy how many teams have turned down the Browns. Or how many coaches have turned down the Browns? It's like been 5 they've offered to.
You saw they named it today, right?
Oh, I
don't know if you saw it. It was Todd Monken. He's the head coach now.
Okay, that's a good hire.
If he didn't go there, he was going to be the offensive coordinator of the Giants, which I was kind of wanting that to happen because I think he would be. Yeah. He's somewhat of a quarterback whisperer. I mean, and I know Baltimore fans probably don't think he is, but I was looking forward to him playing with Jackson Dart, even though I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. But yeah, he got that job today. They're a dumpster fire. The Raiders are a dumpster fire. The Raiders are left, and then Cardinals are left. And Cardinals, I mean, they're not any better either. They're one of the dumpster fires in the NFL too. I was surprised that Pittsburgh hired an offensive coach and a coach that's older because the last 3 coaches, they've only had 3 coaches since I've been alive, and they're all defensive minded and they were young when they got hired. But I was very, very shocked that Mike McCarthy, and I wish him luck. I wish him well because I like him. I know he's from Pittsburgh. I know if you watched any of his press conference when he got hired in, he was, got a little emotional about it. So good for him. Good for him. Well, let's move on to the Oklahoma Sooners. Switch over here to Norman. We got Roger Denny, who walked in today. It was officially named as athletic director today. There's a fire across the street, though, with a 7-game losing streak. Kel and I went to the OU Arkansas game last night. 1-6, Oklahoma is in the SEC. So does he make a bold statement by moving to fire Porter Moser right away to signal a new era, or does he just, like, with his business background, but protect the budget and maybe wait until March timeframe?
Well, I think basketball, to me, is way different than football because of the signing periods. The signing periods have already happened. Football, people were getting fired because of the NIL, came about. It's like, well, you can't wait till the end of the season because they got to get their signing period done in December. Then they got to get their NIL ready to go, or their portal ready to go in January. Basketball is different. The time frame is way different. And none of it's happened until after the season's over. And so it doesn't do it's not going to make a single difference if he's gone or not. Because, it could in some recruiting, but the way it is anymore, if Porter Moser is let go, then every single one of those guys is going to be gone anyways. And so whoever comes in is going to have to pull in whoever. And I don't think it does. I haven't seen any basketball coaches getting fired in the midseason since this portal era started.
Yeah. Kellen?
I don't really know how coaching carousel works in college basketball. I would just say might as well wait, get everything. I'm sure he's got other stuff to work on, but I expect him to be fired for sure.
I like
everybody wants him gone.
I think I like his energy. I like him, but I just don't think this was the right. It felt to me from even the beginning it wasn't the right fit. Unfortunately, I know we did make the tournament last year, but regardless, I just think it's probably, unfortunately, for Porter Moser, time for OU to move on. It's a wild structure. I know Roger Denny he's the athletic director. Randall Stevenson, who's the former CEO of AT&T, he's the chair of athletics. But Joe C built a dynasty in like softball, gymnastics. You've got, and we had some really good years, obviously, with basketball and football. So Roger is a lawyer by trade. So he's kind of an outsider to all this. And I heard him say the other day that NIL is he's just used to it because that's all he knows. So my question here would be, is there any risk? Like, what's the risk of having an athletic director that's basically really, it feels like, focused completely, I shouldn't say completely, but focused quite a bit on football. And is that going to, like softball and all these, and gymnastics or whatever, all these other sports, golf, all that, is that going to hurt by having an athletic director that's so focused on, with football and making the money there?
I feel like, one, yes, it is a risk because it's different. But I feel like the athletic director position has changed significantly. And we just got in the right transition where you have somebody that's, at doesn't really matter. Let's just say Alabama or Mississippi or Vanderbilt, whatever. Those people are there. Let's say they've been there for a long time. We got a guy that literally started into this career when NIL started. He doesn't know the old way. He doesn't know anything different than that. This has become it's just like hiring the general managers now for football programs and, hiring Trey Young as part of the basketball program and stuff like that. It is a new way of doing business, and you've got to have somebody that can know every single in and out and all that kind of stuff. And then you got to hire people like Jim Nagy. You don't think if Brent Venables got let go, Bob Stoops is not going to have something to do with the hiring of the new person? I mean, so the hiring person is going to be good, but you've got to surround yourself with people like that are going to help you hire the next person. Let's say if Porter Moser is let go, who can you get to help you hire that new basketball coach? Lon Kruger probably be involved. Sherry Cole will probably be involved. Different things like that. And so he's not going to know everybody, but I think that I like the hire because of the business side of it, that we got to have so much money to run these programs anymore. That has nothing to do with raising money for facilities or having or having plans for that kind of stuff or hiring the right coaches. It has got to be about, can you get the kids here? And I think this is the guy that knows how to do that and has the mindset to do that. All I keep hearing is about how impressive he is and how sharp he is.
Oh yeah.
And
exactly.
So that to me, it is a risk because it's not the normal AD hire where you find somebody that just has all these connections with coaches across the nation and stuff like that. He didn't have that. They're like, well, we're going to let this Randall Stevenson take care of that part of it.
Gotcha. Let's move on to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder are now 38-10. They're still number one in the West. I believe I looked it up. They're 6 games ahead of San Antonio still in the overall conference record, but they're banged up. We haven't had J-Dub, no Hartenstein, no Caruso. And then last night we did beat the Pelicans, but we were missing 7 players. But in our losses, the role players are shooting, some of the role players are shooting blanks. So with the trade deadline a week away, do we trust this bench, or does Presti need to go get a specialist like Luke Kennard to keep the spacing alive for Shea? Kellen?
I don't think there's any reason to panic unless you can find some kind of diamond in the rough, but I don't think we need anybody that bad. We just got to get healthy. I think we're being overly cautious with some of these injuries. If this was playoffs, I think everybody but J-Dub would be in right now.
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. I mean, it's been rough, but we're 7-3 in the last 10 games. You know how many teams would kill to be 7-3? If you go 7-3 for the entire season in your 10-game span, you'll be fine. So we just gotta tough it out. There's a lot of other teams that are hurt too. Unfortunately, the only 2 teams that are hurt more than us, we lost 2 back-to-back, which is a little ridiculous, but they'll be all right. I think it's a learning experience for a lot of these guys, and I think it's going to be good for us in the long run. Hopefully, some of these guys will toughen up and get a little more clutch in them whenever their number's being called.
I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, I've tried to go back and I don't want to go back and look at the record. I feel like I know most of what's going on. The Indianapolis game was the only one that I thought was just a god-awful loss just because how bad they were. But other than that, Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Kellen. I think this is a not being panic thing. Let's let these guys just rest. Let's let them get healthy, and because it's a long. We still got right at half the season left,
Sure.
and so let's just make everybody better and healthy, and let's just move on because we, like you said, still winning games.
Sure.
And but we still have Chet and Shea, and but it is interesting to see how much we're still winning even with this many people
Right.
out.
We just need some of these role players to step up, whether it be Dort, Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Jay Will, whoever, somebody. We just need at least one more player to step up and get going. So
most of these wins, we do have somebody step up.
Yeah.
Like Dort has shot better the other night. I think it was the Pacers game. He went 1 for 9, and that didn't help anything. Last night, Jay Will, he only made one basket, but his defense and his assists and 4 blocks, like, it's just when you have this many injuries, these guys are getting a lot more minutes than they're used to. So I think if we just get a couple guys back, it'll really help while the rest of everybody heals up.
Yeah. Did we lose Bench? Is he gone? He's gone on my side.
I don't see him.
All right. So, and I saw some things today. There he is on Instagram. I saw today.
I had to charge up my computer.
Oh, charge it up. Way to go, Clay.
Yeah.
And it was showing Giannis. Giannis is one of these guys. And I can't remember. I think I sent it to you guys actually. And it said like the one team that he keeps hearing is going to go after Giannis is us. And he was talking about 3 first-round draft picks because he said, we have so many draft picks, and which we do. But he also said J-Dub and 3 first-round draft picks for Giannis. Would you do that?
No chance. I wouldn't trade J-Dub alone for Giannis. 0 chance.
The only reason I'm at, because the guy was saying how, we lost to the Spurs, those first 3 games, and lost to those guys, and we need a big man in the middle to help solidify that. But I mean, I think we just got to wait for Hartenstein, and we can have Hartenstein, Chet, and Jay Will. Even Carlson.
If I would do it, I would like give him Sorber, maybe Topic, 3 first-round picks, and that'd be about it.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's a foundation. I mean, that's a foundation for Milwaukee. I mean, that's 5 players that will potentially could all be rookies next year, so that are good. But other than that, I wouldn't trade any of our core players. And so, I mean, I just hope Giannis stays in the East. That's my biggest thing. Because it sounds like he's going to be gone, and I just really hope he stays in the East.
Please stay in the East. That's exactly what I told Kellen. Were you telling me who, like Golden State, and who was the other team? Oh, the Knicks.
That's what I've heard, but also the Trailblazers, the Timberwolves are pushing really hard.
Please, no.
That'd be interesting, but I think they'd give up so much.
They'd lose so much depth.
Yeah, they would.
I don't think that Anthony Edwards and Giannis alone could beat, like,
they'd be like Denver last year.
The Nuggets or us, and maybe even like the Spurs, or maybe the Spurs this year. I still think the Spurs would be better than.
The Warriors. I mean, like, they're going to have.
They'd have 2 players.
Exactly. You have Draymond, Steph and Giannis, and I mean, like, who
do they have that they can give up?
No, yeah,
exactly.
There's nobody on that team you want. Jimmy Butler, he might never be the same. Kuminga, he's not. He's okay, but he's not a replacement for Giannis. Draymond Green's a bum, and he's old. So, like, I just don't know who they have that they could give up. Like, they wouldn't even want to trade for Curry because he's getting old. Like,
so I'd say Steph plays about every third, or misses about every third game.
True.
And he's good, but he's old. Like, I think New York's the one that makes the most sense. But even then, I just don't think they are.
Right.
They struggle too much sometimes, and I just don't know.
They're going to have to give up stuff too. I mean, I don't know if they'd give up Karl Anthony Towns for him or not.
They would. I think New York's tired of Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. But it's like, what's Milwaukee? If Milwaukee's wanting to start over and do what San Antonio and what Thunder has done, and what I see Charlotte even doing, it's like the only way to really build your team is to break it down and to
You have to
get some players. And you don't need to get, even to me, even J-Dub is a little bit older to start a team. And because you can't keep bringing in people like, Damian Lillard and stuff like that. I mean, I would think that was fine at the time, but that's not somebody to start building this back up. And I think the whole idea of bringing in 3 or 4 stars anymore, like Miami did with LeBron and those guys, that philosophy is gone. It doesn't work anymore. And
I wonder how that would have worked out if it wasn't LeBron. I think LeBron was the main catalyst in that whole team.
Oh, they wouldn't have done anything like that.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'd be like putting Kobe with 3 or 2 other stars. I mean, he's the main guy, or same thing with Jordan. So which Jordan was the main guy.
Yeah, because, I mean, even Durant goes out there to Golden State, does good, but it took when Klay Thompson tears his knee up, it's over. Kevin Durant tears his Achilles, it's over.
It's over.
Well, and Golden State was already winning when he went over there. It's not like he was the finishing piece. They were already winning.
They were.
He went out there, got him a couple of rings so he could go on. And so that philosophy of doing that, and you got to get really lucky, just like we're saying, like Houston, they added Durant this year, but they gave up some depth, and then they lost their point guard. And so now look at them. They're a good team, and that's about it. They got 2 or 3 good players, but they just don't have the depth. And that's why Oklahoma City keeps winning, is when we're in a lull of people getting hurt, we got 5 guys we can just throw out there that are good and can keep us winning.
Sure. Well, Chet's playing at a defensive player level. He had 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks last night. But I think I don't think you guys would agree, we look vulnerable without Isaiah Hartenstein. So, Kellen, when everyone's healthy, should we lean into the Twin Towers lineup with Chet and Hartenstein together, or is this team actually at its best when we play small ball and we're fast?
I think it's just a case-by-case situation. It just depends on the teams. Like, people like the Rockets, we really need Hartenstein because they kill us in rebounds, especially offensive rebounds. So teams like that. But I'm not so sure against, like, the Spurs. I'm not so sure he fits in that mold. I know a lot of people are always bringing up, we need Hartenstein for that. He played in the 3 losses we had. We lost to the Spurs 3 times, and he played all 3 of those games. People just forget. Maybe against the Nuggets because he's a big man that can help with Jokic, but like some of our best big man defenders is J. Will, Kenrich Williams, and Caruso. Like those guys cover Jokic and Giannis. Nobody really covers Giannis too well, but Kenrich did. But I think in the grand scheme of things, yes, for the most part, I like having the 2 big guys in there because Hartenstein was looking really good before he got hurt. He had the highest shooting percentage in the league for people that shot a minimum amount of shots. He was rebounding a lot. He was playing the best basketball of his career. So I think when he's healthy, I think we definitely need to have him in most of our starting lineups. Because, I mean, you saw us try to do that in the finals. We started Case and Wallace the first 2 games. We lost one and won one, but it was not good. It was scrappy, so we went back to putting Hartenstein in the starting lineup, and I do think it's a case-by-case situation.
Clay, you got anything on that?
I think Kellen pretty covered. I'm racking my brain, so I think he...
Way to go, Kellen. The dog, man.
The dog.
So tomorrow night, we're at Minnesota Timberwolves. The Spurs are surging right now. They're in second place right now behind Victor Wembanyama. So looking, let's say, at the next 5 years, who's the really big team standing in our way to our dynasty? Is it Minnesota? Is it San Antonio? Is it still Denver? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do, it's just hard to say.
Sure.
Because of injuries. I mean, right now, Denver's playing pretty good without the Joker. And so, but how much longer does he have? Wemby, man, he's just a frail individual. And, I mean, they've got some good players. There's no doubt.
Sure, of course.
But until they start building some serious depth, if he goes down, they're not going to be able to last very long. If he misses kind of like Hartenstein does, they're just not going to last very long. And, it's not sustainable. They're going to win some games without him. Don't get me wrong. But so I think for us, we've obviously got to stay healthy, but we've got to keep signing and keep getting. And it's just unbelievable how our last 2 first-round draft picks have yet to play a minute for us hardly, and because of their injuries or sickness. And we got to keep building those guys up and keep getting depth, because we're going to lose people over time. And so hopefully that keeps but like we said several years ago, bringing in studs was kind of the way to go. So what's going to change? So that to me is why it's hard. I don't think it's going to be Minnesota. Definitely think it's San Antonio, because I like the way they're building it. They've got a solid organization. Denver's got a solid organization. Golden State, I think they're done as soon as Curry's done.
Kerr will be out of there quick too.
Yeah, but out there, you look at the West, I mean, just like who out there is a good organization? Minnesota seems all over the place. Sacramento's terrible. Portland is just, who knows what's going on with Portland? You know what I mean? So I like to try to look at organizations kind of like the Celtics. Like the Celtics just, like, how in the world are they good? They pretty much dismantled their team this year, almost like Indianapolis did, because they thought, man, we lost our stud, and I think they're second or third place in the East.
I think it's culture, man.
Yeah,
it's the culture and good organization. Kellen, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I definitely think the 2 biggest threats over the years is going to be Denver and San Antonio. Denver's built well. Like, they had a game where maybe 1 or 2 games they didn't have any of their starters and they won. And you know who else did that? It was us last year. Yeah. So they're clearly a very good, very deep team. And as long as Jokic is there, they're going to be difficult to play against. But I think the San Antonio is just a younger version of us. They're deep. They got a lot of young, scrappy, fast, good defense. They're really good at defense. So, like, they're going to be tough to play over the years.
Sure.
And if they keep drafting the way they do, I mean, they went Rookie of the Year. I think Rookie of the Year 2 in a row, and then, or I don't remember. I think was Castle Rookie of the Year. Yeah, so they had 2 in a row. Dylan Harper looks decent. He's just, at this point, the team's good enough that he's not getting the time to shine like Castle and Wemby did, obviously. And then Vassell is really good. He's really good at defense. So De'Aaron Fox is playing the best basketball of his career, seems like. So I think they're going to be difficult for years to come.
Sure.
But I think that's good for us and good for basketball.
I hope them and Denver are 2 and 3.
I mean, as of right now, it's been staying that way. So if that's the case, that's going to be good for us, because
real good.
any one of those teams can beat any one of those, like Denver, OKC, San Antonio. But I feel like the team that's going to have the hardest time is the team that wins and then has to play the next one. And hopefully that's not us. Hopefully they play each other and then they come play us.
Sure. So I got 3 of our questions I'm going to ask at the very end. One being, since we just had the, what would you call that? The Snowmageddon, I guess. I don't know if you would call it that. But to you, not being, hey, I get off work, what is the perfect amount of snow? Not because I want 12 inches so I don't have to go to work. But what's the perfect amount? Because I know my store was closed Sunday, and I know we closed early all week long until yesterday. And obviously, rightfully so, to make sure for safety for everybody. But obviously, it hurts. It hurts my sales, my budgets, and all that. But regardless, I mean, it's all about the safety for the teammates that we have. So what's the amount?
Oh, perfect snow. I'm going to say 4 inches.
5 inches. Covers the grass. Not too much, not too little. Perfectly average.
Perfect for me.
Kills all the bugs.
A light dusting. I can't stand it. Ever since I've been in retail, especially as a store manager for the last 30 years. No, I can't deal with it, man. It hurts my sales, my budgets, all that kind of stuff. So I can't stand snow. If I were going to, and I wouldn't even want it when I'm on vacation, because if I hang out and then it snows, I'm just sitting around. I do like it. I do enjoy sitting around the house and eating some good soup or drink some coffee or whatever it might be. But I like dusting is all I want. Second question: give me one player that never won a Super Bowl ring that deserves one. That you would get, if you had the ability to get this individual a ring, meaning obviously they won a Super Bowl. Who would it be, past or present?
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
First one that comes to mind, I'm going to go with somebody that doesn't play anymore, since these guys still got a chance, and there's a lot of guys right now I'd like to see win one, but I don't know why. First one comes to my mind is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Best running back I ever saw. I wish he could have won.
Sure.
But
Hey, Todd, I'm probably going to take yours. Dan Marino.
Yeah, that's a good one. He went to a Super Bowl, I think, his rookie year. It was either his rookie year or his second year. And I remember them saying that he would go home and think to himself, oh, man, I'm probably going to go to several of these. Never went back.
Yeah, he was.
Remember that year Patriots played the Bears in 85 Super Bowl, I guess. They upset Miami in Miami, New England did, and they had that Craig James. He went nuts on and running the football, and they beat him. Because earlier that year, Marino was the only team, and the Dolphins were the only team to defeat the Chicago Bears during that season. Here's like some listings of some players. Barry Sanders was mentioned, Randy Moss. Here's one that I would be my runner-up, honestly, Jim Kelly. I thought they were so good. They obviously got beat twice by the Cowboys, but that first Super Bowl is when they had the shot there. They just missed the wide right field goal from Scott Norwood, the kicker. That would be my second guy, since you said Dan Marino, but I agree 100%. Final question. You're offered $100,000, but one exotic animal has to chase you for 20 hours. Which animal are you choosing to chase you?
Exotic animal?
That's what it says. I got no idea. Exotic. Ooh,
probably a sloth.
that gummit dog. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That is a really good one. I'm going to go with a parrot because I don't think he'd bother me much.
Yeah. My second choice, since Kellen took mine, penguin. I think I could outrun a penguin for a while. That little
Depends on where you are, though.
Oh,
I thought if they drop you in the middle of some ice, you're
out in
toast.
the middle of the ice after 20 hours, I'm toast, man.
Take you out in the desert.
Ooh, shot. Yeah, take it out to my territory. Well, my territory is the couch, but regardless. Well, the Fox 10 Sports
Well, if
Podcast.
we're doing the couch.
Huh?
I said, if we're doing the couch, give me like a shark. I'm on land.
The Fox 10 Sports Podcast. I'd like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. Reminder to everybody, go on YouTube, like us, subscribe to us, comment on all of our different platform pages that we're on, all the social media outlets that we're on. So make sure you do that. But until next time, next week, be ready for some Super Bowl predictions. It'll be an interesting one. But for Kellen the dog and Clay Bench McDonald the enforcer, I'm Todd Fox, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Sooner.
No.
Thank you for listening to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox 10 Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox 10 Sports and on Facebook at Fox 10 Sports Podcast. You can also email us at fox10sports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox 10 Sports.